Good evening, fellow Forex traders. It is January 9th, 2019, and I wanted to do another video tonight just because we had some great action in the euro dollar after covering this pair pretty extensively last night. Really great reaction quickly. So I want to break down what happened today and kind of what I'm expecting going forward in the next couple days, just a couple days, because that's all I'm kind of looking out right now. So let's dig right in. Last night, I was talking primarily about this bull flag, and last night I kind of had it drawn to here. I think actually it was about to here, and we'd seen this kind of push out a little bit, but not much follow through. Danced around here the rest of the night, kind of broke up higher here overnight, early morning, and came down. And if you extend this top line down, you see that's almost just such a nice retest of that flag. And obviously, we moved aggressively higher after that. And again, this is exactly what I was talking about yesterday in terms of all of the Fed speakers or the Fed members speaking this week, starting today, and really being that headline risk for the narrative of the tightening cycle is potentially coming to an end, and that's been, voiced by Fed Chairman Powell. That's been, more than once now. So it should be no surprise. But it seems to have caught the market off guard a little bit, or just hasn't been priced in. And you see that here. Forex Live had, the great headlines. These are the guys I watch for quick, real-time Forex news. Bostic, I don't even know who he is. He wasn't on the economic calendar here. You see today we had on the calendar here at Forex Factory, we had Evans, Rosengren, and just the meeting minutes, which were a big deal, coming out. But I didn't see Bostic on this agenda. But his comments were actually seemed to be the ones that moved this market here. This was I don't know what that's GMT time, but Rosengren didn't seem to do much. But once Bostic was talking, that's when I started seeing the market really starting to respond. Again, I say more dovish stuff. And again, you see everyone's relatively aligned with Powell. The Fed is trying to be more transparent, period, and telegraph what's going on. The meeting minutes came out, and we saw, you can see on the chart, this was kind of the meeting minutes here. You see this sloppy play. It's easier to see on the 15-minute. You saw this kind of, actually, I think it was right in here. Yeah, the meeting minutes came out here. Saw this crazy wick that ended up in a doji. But then more follow kept going, grinding higher afterwards. So everything, the Fed is trying to say is that, hey, we're going to, we're not as hawkish as we were. We're happy with where rates are. Maybe they'll go up. But it doesn't matter what's going to happen in the next couple meetings. It's what's going to happen further out than that. What expectations are for, 3 meetings out, 4 meetings out. Are they going to stop raising? Are they going to potentially lower rates if the market, continues to go down? That the market's always forward-looking, right? Or in theory. But I think, where was it? I saw a nice, here's the key, and this is what I was saying last night. There's going to be a steady stream of this in the week ahead, with many FOMC members slated to speak. And we're going to see more of that, right? This is just day one. Tomorrow we've got Bullard, we've got Evans, we've got Clarita, and we've got Powell. I mean, tomorrow's a big day by itself, and that's one of the reasons why I have not taken any profits yet on my euro dollar longs. The key I want to stress here, because it was a little bit taxing for me to hold through this. I won't lie. I woke up, I saw this run, kind of bummed. We went all the way back down here, basically slightly below my entry. That's no fun. But we had a plan from last night, right? A lot of it which was hinging on these Fed speakers coming out and reiterating that dovish stance. And I wasn't going to bail on my position until that thesis at least somewhat played out. And I'm glad I stuck to it. And so, it's easy to do these charts. It's easy to map out a game plan. It's a completely different ballgame to stick to it and be confident in it while you're waiting for it to happen and materialize. So, but I really think one comes with the other, right? It's easier to stay patient and wait for things to happen if you have a game plan, a real well thought out one to begin with. And that's what we had last night. So it kept us confident and things worked out well. And hopefully they continue to do so. Because I'm sticking with that thesis, right? We talked about this resistance zone here, 115.80 to 116.20. And you could argue, hey, we've gotten pretty damn close here, 115.60 almost. Maybe start thinking about taking some off. But I don't want to shortchange myself either. It's a fine line to dance. And again, this 200-day moving average is something I'm going to really be watching. I like the top portion of this range. Still, that's still another 60, 70 pips away. That's a lot of money to leave on the table. And it's hard to get back in this trade if you get out at this point. So I'm sticking to my guns. If you dig down to the 15-minute chart, one thing I'm seeing is, price is making higher highs on the 15-minute and lower lows on RSI. Now, this is typical bearish divergence. The problem is it's a low time frame, so you can't put tons of weight into this. The other one is, start looking at kind of these peaks to troughs. Okay, so you see this peak here in RSI and this one here, they're actually 16 bars apart, which violates our RSI calculation. There's only 14 bars. So that's technically not divergence, right? And this next one here would be right here because RSI was 73.22 here and 72, so slightly lower. And then we have another one here. It's 12 bars apart, so this is still valid. That's barely a higher high. My point is when you start seeing this long trickle down in RSI consolidating and price isn't reacting except going sideways or slightly up, to me it's kind of a continuation signal. So I'm looking at this more like, hey, this is still relatively bullish. You're seeing you really haven't seen any divergence here on the hourly chart because RSI made a higher high. We went from, 76.17 to 77.33. So we made a higher high in price, higher high in RSI. And now you're seeing kind of that consolidation with RSI while price just kind of goes sideways so far, right? 4 hour, same thing, still no kind of divergence. So I don't see a technical reason to take profit and I don't see a fundamental reason because odds are that tomorrow Powell and crew aren't going to come out with some hawkish statements. That wouldn't make sense. Everything they've telegraphed to this point has been we want to be transparent and communicate to the market what we're thinking, and all of that so far has said accommodative, dovish, etc. So why would tomorrow be any different? It shouldn't. So I'm holding on and expecting higher prices. And let's just look at the US dollar chart real quick. What a drop today. I haven't looked at this chart until just now. Last night I was talking about this floor. We were dancing around in here and I didn't expect this to hold. It's just another perfect touch and not much of a retrace here, pretty shallow bounce, and came right down with those comments today. And now the daily looks just kind of pretty abysmal. Yeah, again, the support zone, but it's not looking like it doesn't bode much confidence for holding at this point. And if we pop out at the weekly, like this is looking pretty bearish. So it looks like there's still a ways to go. And if you wanted to chart, some potential support from the weekly, I'm looking at, let's get my little magnet friend here. That kind of looks like an interesting area, where these two candles kind of double bottomed. And that's still a ways down, right? Another, $1.30 or so in the USD. And that'd be still a pretty substantial move in the euro dollar if we were to do that. So again, just no good reason to take profit. Holding strong with our position. And that's kind of all I'm doing is trading the plan at this point. I don't want to shake myself out too early. But again, it's a fine line to shaking yourself out and just banking some profit without this thing springing back on you. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Hoping for some more tailwind from the Fed speakers tomorrow, and that's all I can do for now. I'd like to have this trade wrapped up by the weekend, just because United States take a win going into the weekend and be flat. So that's kind of what I'll be looking to do. Tomorrow's Thursday, giving it 2 days, and that's it. Also, I guess one more thing. I see a lot of people on Forex Factory trying to short this move. I don't understand that. It's foolish, reckless, etc. If you look at the daily chart, this is the first daily close we've had above the 100-day moving average since way back here in September. And granted, we came through, dropped right back down again. But you also have to consider this is the highest daily close since right here, October 16th. So clearly, a long range has been broken to the upside. All the facts are showing you that this is a significant move. So I don't know why you would be shorting into this. At best, stay on the sidelines. Don't do something stupid. Don't fight the market. Don't fight the Fed. Right? And play it smart. It's clearly bullish right now. Again, I'd like to see a reaction here in the 200-day. This is zone. We either go sideways, pop up, come down here, hopefully pop back up. I'm not going to extrapolate out that far at this point in time. But yeah, it's pretty clear that you shouldn't be shorting this pair unless you just hate money. And I don't. So have a good night, everyone. And I hope to do another video soon.